My name is Norm Kirby. I live in Lions Bay and have been for quite a few years, and I love it here. I'm an ex-serviceman. I served in the Army on D-Day as a machine gunner, and I fought in Normandy, in Belgium, in the Scheldt estuary, in Holland, and right on into Germany till the end of the war. Although I was only 17 at the time, I guess, I had a lot of experience working with loggers and sea captains and that on the ships, on the tugboats. So I was not the average school kid. I'd left school at 14 when I completed grade 8. So I explained this to the Army, and they thought I would make a good soldier. They thought I would be okay. Of course, in those days, anybody that could walk would probably end up there. Well, I had been working on the tugboats when I was quite young, 15 years old, maybe even a little younger. And a friend of mine that I grew up with, he took me, he says, never mind this tugboat stuff. He says, George says, come on, we'll be a chokerman. So this big steam donkey and spar trees and wires and that. And I'd been around cables and pulleys and all of that. But this logging camp was a nightmare. And we did this for a week or two, I guess. And George says to me, he said, Norm, he says, we got to get out of here. They're going to kill us. These guys are packing out people every day. And I got hurt. We were taking the logs off a coal deck pile, and a log come rolling off it was a huge pile, thousands of logs piled up around the spar tree. And it was a yell, and I started running, and I tripped and fell into a bit of a hole, and a log rolled right over the top of me. And I heard a guy yelling, Blackie's dead. I shook my head, I'm not dead. George joined the Air Force. My friend joined the Air Force. So that's when I went around to the different recruiting places and offered my services and kicked out of most of them. And finally the Army said they would take me on. So that was my joining. We'd been all through Normandy, into Belgium and into the Scheldt estuary. That was bad. It was all bad. And all of a sudden, we get into Holland, and we had Groningen, we had quite a battle there. And we lost a few guys. But anyway, on the street I got in and we chased the Germans out. We got them out of that area, and cleared the area. And I'm on the street with 3 or 4 of my men. We're kind of looking around to see if we missed any of the enemy. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, came all these little kids. They're probably 5, 6, 7 years old. I think, I'm not much judge on the kids' ages, but they had all of their Dutch colors, paper banners, paper hats, and all that, and laughing. And I'm standing there, and there they are, all around me. I'm standing there, pistol on my side and that. And I just thought, wow, this is what it's all about. This is what I'm here for, you know, seeing these kids, and it's my favorite picture of the war, and I treasure it. We were just scouting around, and we got on this barge, and it was a family. It was a mother and father and 2 daughters, and they lived on this barge all the time. That was their business, their home, their livelihood, everything. Yeah, I went back to Captain Nutter. He'd been promoted. Good officer, really good. I went to Nutter and I said, this barge guy said he'll take us up the canal a few miles and we can have a look and see. But I said, you know, they volunteered this. I didn't ask them. They volunteered to do it. But I said, I think we should do something for them. And he says, what do you think? I said, well, diesel fuel is pretty rare. I said that, and I said a few compo rations might please them. He says, it's done. He got a 1,500 weight and loaded it right down. We went to the supply depot. Those guys were so excited about it. They thought that stuff was really something. They took us half a day up the canal, and you're doing 1.5 knots in this thing, you know, just chugging away. We'll be shot if they catch us. You guys are in uniform. You'll be POWs, I guess. I said, yeah, we would. I said, except Joe here, he's Jewish. He'd get different treatment. So anyway, they took us up and they said, okay, and there's all the traffic goes over that bridge, railroad and Autobahn. He says, if you keep watching it, you'll see what's going on. And we kept an eye. We had to look through windows. They didn't want any of them to see us. So we could see them all around us. We watched, and pretty soon we see a train going over, and it's loaded with tanks, and they're heading towards Germany. So that, and then there's another load of vehicles after that, another train load, and a lot of heavy trucks, all heading towards Germany. I went to the captain of the barge and I said, I think we've seen enough. If you can get us back, we'll be okay. So we waited till it was dark and turned around and we headed back down. That was the type of people that we met, and were very anxious to help us if they could. And on the other end is when they were liberated, they just were so pleased is not a description. They were ecstatic about being free. The people in Holland were starving. They grew a lot of food, but it was all taken away from them. Yeah, they were hungry. My job was to take my patrol and go around the neighborhood. We had a Bren carrier and a couple of Jeeps, and we'd drive into a farmyard, and the guys would go and search the barns and that. We were looking for SS men, war criminals. That was what they were really. I met a guy from another unit, just a young guy. He was pretty green. I said, you carry some ammunition and let's head towards that building there. That's their headquarters. The two of us got into this building. I don't know how the heck we got in. We just walked in. And who should we meet but this guy with all the boots and everything on. And kind of asked us, what are you doing here? we let go of the Schmeiser, and we didn't aim at him or anything, but we would have scared him, I think. Although he was a pretty brave guy, but he knew the time was there. And a lot of Dutch people here, and they all come up and greet me every Remembrance Day or any time they see me. You stabbed me.
You can take care of yourself. There you go. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's been a privilege to be in this position, and nice to know the younger generation will continue to remember. I thank you very much.